And you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
First Battle of Panipat, 1914. Madhubani, carbon dioxide, Tropic of Cancer, Kyoto Protocol.
Which city is the textile and diamond capital of India?
Surat,
Help me prep for my UPSC exam with quizzes.
Snow Leopard, Inertia.
अर्जुन कुछ भी पढ़े मेमोरी में नहीं रहता.
Take it, date not bites. No added sugar, preservative के बिना. Dates, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया. Lion Dates Nut Bites. Take it, Lion Date Nut Bites.
Why has Iran stopped the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz?
They want to attack us, they want to target us, so we have to defend ourselves.
They are punishing countries outside the region as well, like India, and like countries in South and East Asia.
The big problem that they've created now is the closure of the strait.
Ultimately, the main purpose of this exercise is, frankly, to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Whenever they've got involved in a war on behalf of somebody else, there isn't been just an altruistic purpose.
Welcome to this edition of the AI Report.
Not accepted.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
Hello there, thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi. Tonight on the show, we're going to talk about two aspects that hit India where it hurts the most. We're talking about aspiration and affordability, from the NEET leak storm and the credibility crisis when it comes to one of India's biggest examinations, to petrol inflation and the price hike, and needless to say, the politics around it. Our systems that are out there to help us cracking under pressure, and is the common man paying for it? Well, we're going to decode that. Before that, the top headlines we're tracking for you. CBI arrests kingpin of the NEET UG 2026 examination paper leaks. Probe revealed that chemistry lecturer PV Kulkarni had access to the question papers, and now the NTA process is again under the lens. We're going to be talking about it. Don't go anywhere. Indore High Court delivers its verdict on the Bhojshala complex. It recognizes the complex as a temple of goddess Vagdevi. The High Court also states the Muslim side needs to file an application for a separate mosque land now. Meanwhile, in a major diplomatic boost for India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi signs an agreement with the UAE for strategic petroleum reserves. Supply of liquefied petroleum gas has also been signed, and much more. Iran's Foreign Minister Syed Abbas Araghchi at the BRICS Foreign Ministers' meet backs India as a mediator to broker peace in West Asia, as he says Pakistan's mediation has not completely failed, but it is in a very difficult phase. First up, we're focusing on a crisis that has shaken the very foundation of our education system and the dreams of millions of families across the country. The National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, NEET UG 2026, has been completely upended following a massive paper leak scandal. And in a major announcement now, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has declared that the NEET UG will permanently transition to a CBT, computer-based format, starting next year. But for the students of the current batch, the nightmare is immediate, and now the government has officially admitted in the examination chain after cancelling the examination, which in itself is unprecedented. A fresh, reconducted NEET UG 2026 exam is now officially scheduled to take place on the 21st of June.
तक जाएगी। मैं और एक विषय जो मेन विषय में कहना था, अगले साल से परीक्षा, इसकी जो मूल जड़ है OMR, अगले साल से नीट की परीक्षा कंप्यूटर बेस्ड टेस्ट से होगी।
It's another 1.5 month delay for students who had over 23 lakh students had given their exam on 3rd of May. For them to now wait for another 1.5 months, the mental agony, the mental stress that they will have to go through is something that only the person who's sitting for this exam would know. But it is unfortunate that repeatedly we are seeing how paper leaks are impacting the youth of this country. On one hand, they face joblessness for the future as well as currently, and on the other hand, when they're trying to get a medical seat, they are failed by the system that exists. Again, the CBI investigation is pointing a finger towards an internal sabotage, an internal paper leak that has happened, and they're holding somebody internally within the NTA responsible for it. We are hoping it will reach the investigation would apprehend the person who's responsible behind it, and it cannot. And I continue to say, this scale of paper leaks cannot happen without some kind of political privilege.
कटोरा लेके नौजवान भीख मांगता रहे, यही चाहते हैं मोदी जी। और नीट की परीक्षा का पेपर लीक करा के 22 लाख छात्रों का जीवन बर्बाद हुआ है। जो साल भर वो लोग पढ़ाई करते हैं, अब आप कह रहे हैं हम दोबारा परीक्षा करा देंगे। एक आदमी दौड़ लगाए हुए है मेहनत से और बिल्कुल गोल के करीब पहुंच गया तो आपने उसकी टांग में लंगड़ी मार के उसको गिरा दिया। अब कह रहे फिर से दौड़ो, तो उसका जो रिदम बना था वो तो आपने तोड़ दिया। अब आप कह रहे फिर से परीक्षा दो, तो ये सीधे सीधे नौजवानों के साथ बहुत बड़ा धोखा है मोदी सरकार का।
Well, the biggest breakthrough in the probe comes from Pune, where the CBI has officially exposed the alleged kingpin of the operation, PV Kulkarni. Shockingly, Kulkarni was involved in the NEET exam process on behalf of the NTA itself. And the probe reveals he used this insider access to get hold of the question papers. The investigation shows that this man on your screens, PV Kulkarni, allegedly mobilized students with the help of an associate named Manisha Wagmare, who was arrested by the CBI just yesterday on the 14th of May. And the duo operated out of Kulkarni's Pune residence, where they held special coaching classes in the last week of April. During these secret sessions, the actual exam questions, the options and the correct answers were allegedly dictated directly to the students. Munna Bhai MBBS in real life. And in a damning piece of forensic evidence, the CBI found that handwritten notes taken by these students perfectly matched the actual NEET question paper, pointing directly to a deeply entrenched insider-led leak network. Now, while the CBI unravels this criminal network, this scandal exposes an even deeper, more painful reality for the Indian family. The fact that medical dreams now cost lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Preparing for NEET has turned into a multi-year financial burden that is burning through family savings. Middle-class families are feeling the biggest pressure of this system, facing a crushing double burden where they must pay hefty regular school fees alongside skyrocketing coaching fees. They're increasingly forced to take out heavy personal loans just to fund these coaching classes. Take a look at this. Let's look at what it actually costs a family just to get a student to the examination gates. If you choose standard offline coaching, the monthly fees range from 8,000 to 15,000 rupees, driving the total annual estimate to a staggering 1.5 to 2.5 lakh rupees. Regular online classes range from 2,500 to 8,000 rupees, translating to an annual cost of up to 80,000 rupees. Then you've got crash courses, which mix online and offline modes, charge 10,000 to 20,000 rupees for a brief session. Even the early foundation programs for younger children cost between 3,000 to 7,000 rupees. That's for a month, totaling up to £1 lakh each year. Yet, the coaching fees are just the prologue to India's private MBBS fee shocker. If a student misses a government merit seat due to leaked papers and corrupt networks, the cost of a private medical education is astronomical. A private MBBS degree in India can easily cost anywhere from 50 lakh rupees to over 1.5 crore rupees. If a student has to go through the management of NRI quotas, the total cost can cross a mind-boggling 2 crore rupees. That's right. And deemed universities are no different either, charging 15 to 25 lakh rupees yearly, with hostel and mess facilities adding another 1 to 2 lakh rupees every single year. Over the course of a 5.5-year MBBS degree, the total cost spirals completely out of reach for the average citizen out there, especially since low-fee private seats are highly limited and extremely competitive. An esteemed set of panelists with us on the broadcast. The big question that we're trying to understand. If a key insider, like the lecturer, the chemistry professor, P.V. Kulkarni, had direct access to the question papers on behalf of the NTA, how can a shift to a computer-based exam format next year truly eliminate the threat of internal corruption? And when the combined burden of coaching and private medical seats can run into crores of rupees, the business of NEET as it were, is the Indian medical education system completely shutting the door on merit and becoming a privilege exclusively for and to the wealthy? Professor Badri Narayan Tewari, Vice Chancellor TIST, with us on the broadcast. Dr. Sulfi Nuhu, former State President, IMA Kerala, with us on the broadcast. Advocate Anuba Srivastav Sahai, educationist and President, India-Wide Parent Association, bringing us the voice of the parents and their perils and turmoils as well. And Saurabh Pant, Academic Director at Shri Gosalites, with us on the broadcast as well. You know what, Dr. Nuhu, I'm going to begin with you. Today, a very startling development that has come to light. Of course, the CBI has been quite swift in its probe. It's all happening post facto. With great, development, and really glad that the examination has been cancelled. Of course, a lot of collateral damage when it comes to that. But how big of a development will it be if it is sincerely established that somebody who was within the works of the NTA process was behind this massive paper leak? I mean, the entire examination had to be cancelled, and now everybody is waking up after the turmoil has already happened to shift to CBT.
Yeah, the basic thing is that the basic thing is, see, we have a very, very high, like the quality of our doctors, Indian doctors, it's respected all over the world. We need the quality students, maybe students with very good academics and commitment for medical education. It's a tough course, no doubt at all. It's a really a tough course. And if maybe the lesser qualified or maybe lesser equipped persons are qualified, then the standard of medical education will go down far further. Already it is going down, and that will affect the health system of India. That's my first concern.
Okay, all right. Professor Badri Narayan.
That's my first concern.
Yeah. I thought you were done with your opening submissions. Dr. Nuhu, go on, please go on.
Yeah, I think that's my first concern, and Indian Medical Association is also concerned about the quality of medical education if unqualified people are coming up for the medical course. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the whole system has to be changed. We have given a submission to the education minister today. We have demanded this. See, that more than lakhs of students are applying for the examination, almost 12 lakh students, and it's totally a centralized examination. We demand a decentralized examination in which all states and education, like union territories, will be getting some responsibility to conduct this examination. That is the first thing. We need to have an online examination pattern. All international examinations are going on the on the online system, and we can definitely make it very transparent and maybe in a very truthful way. So we need that too. And also the third thing is the students, they put, the young students, many students commit suicide and they go to mental depression, and
sad and unfortunate cases that have come to light even today. I mean, it's so gruesome that we have to talk about it. Something that's happened, as recent as today, we're learning of, a young boy, a young aspirant, took the hard step, took the extreme step, died by suicide in Seeker today. Well, that's not the point of this essential discussion. Of course, it's disheartening and gut-wrenching to see that all of that is happening. And that's why the big question is, why has the government woken up too late? Professor Badri, let me come to you. Critics are blunt in that question as well. Look at Mr. P.V. Kulkarni. He was in the works of the NTA process. Isn't this a symbolic example? Isn't this an embarrassing moment, a red-faced moment for the National Testing Agency?
See, I will not see the way you are seeing. I see it differently. The Education Minister today said this is a big social event. It's a very difficult to control griefs, and that's why society needs that society and government come together and resolve that kind of the social event, because it's a lalach. This person, Professor Kulkarni, is a professor in a medical college, and if he is involved in that, he takes coaching, he do the private tuition, and from there to all the kind of consultants and the coaching institute network. I said yesterday also in your channel that this is the big problem of the society, and we have to fight it against such kind of the greeds and greeds on the one hand, and as growing aspirations of the students on the other hand. Around for 60,000 seats, you see the 25 lakh students participate in that. But now the way today Education Minister has announced this CBT test, and the way Radhakrishnan committee reports have been implemented and going to be implemented, that will help us to come out from this kind of crisis. But even then, after all, human is important. Ultimately, everything is handled by the human. So we have to correct ourselves, we have to correct the society, we have to correct human in this frame. So process, the way the system, government, society, we all have to come together to counter such kind of problem.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yet again, Professor, I agreed with you even yesterday when you were talking about how the morals of the society have to be upheld. There's no doubt about that. But when somebody who's working so close with the NTA comes out to be the kingpin, one's, mind is boggled with the fact that, how did somebody who was closely associated with the NTA was the kingpin over here? Anyway, Advocate Anubha Srivastava Sahai, let me come to you. This new development, what's your assessment in reading on this particular front, Advocate? I mean, Professor P.V. Kulkarni, he's the kingpin. He's been identified by the CBI, and he was part of the NTA process. I mean, the question is so blunt and out in the open.
Thank you for having me on this show, and I'm really shocked when we got this news that a professor is involved in this scam, whole NEET leak paper scam. The professor is involved from medical college, and officials from NTA are also involved now.
Yeah.
So this is very shocking, and the students and parents community have been telling since, I think, last 2-3 years that there is some loophole in the system. The NTA officials are involved. Government has to find out who all are involved. Nothing happened in 2024 when we all protested against the paper leak, which happened, and we also urged the central government that time to cancel the exam, but that didn't happen. So people have lost faith in 2024 batch. If someone will tell me to go to a doctor who is from 2024 batch, I will never trust that doctor because he is from 2024 batch. And this 2026, now the exam has been cancelled, but yes, the trust of people. Students have already lost trust. Students community, parents community of those 22 lakh aspirants, NEET aspirants have completely lost trust in the system since past few years. Government is not taking action against the NTA officials, against the education minister. He is still continuing. I don't know what is the reason. And today we are at this stage where again the leak has happened and the officials from inside NTA are
did you listen to that press conference? Were you able to listen to that press conference that happened today by the Union Education Minister?
Yes.
What were the biggest key? What were the key takeaways from that? What was your assessment of that press conference?
See, the best part which I liked is that they have now agreed that yes, there is a fault in the system which government was not initially ready during 2024. Now government has at least admitted that yes, there is a fault in the system.
Okay.
But we demand strict action, and the CBT I don't know why they have not implemented the Radhakrishnan Committee's recommendation for CBT exam in 2025, 2026 itself. Now from next year they are implementing. It is good that they are now going to implement it, but I cannot understand why they have not implemented. Yes.
Too little, too late. And I think slow on your feet, lackadaisical. I mean, there are so many adjectives that come to my mind. Again, I don't want to bash the NTA because, you see, firstly, it's not my position to do that. Secondly, the CBI is carrying out a swift and a very thorough probe into this matter. Let me bring in our other panelists over here as well.
My only appeal to the government officials, government authority, to the central ministry, to PM Modi ji, that take strict action.
Yeah, there needs to be an example that needs to be made,
for
sure.
You have to set an example.
There needs to be a punitive measure. Saurabh Pant, Academic Director, Shri Gosalites with us. Advocate Anuba, I'm going to come to you just next.
Yes.
Mr. Pant, you see, the big business of the NEET, and help us understand that number crunching as well. If it is running up into the, crores of rupees for a full course of MBBS, which is why we have turned this, show Munna Bhai MBBS in real life. I mean, help us understand the number crunching. It's so expensive. And if you don't land up a seat in the government places, the private education is again astronomical. How does one deal with all of this? To aspire to become a doctor is so difficult. We're revered as the country with the greatest doctors. Take a look at the medical tourism. You go to any hospital today, it's filled with foreign tourists because medical tourism happens so much in our country. And the future of these doctors that are now going to be joining in this pipeline, joining in that medical mill, well, the quality is going to be shambolic, isn't it? That's my prime concern here.
Yeah, right. The first problem that comes over here is that the students who are aspiring to become a doctor, they are not planning to take a private medical seat at the first place. Because if that was the plan, then the coaching institutes, quota, and all these big hubs will not even exist. The first objective is to get the subsidized education. It's kind of a scholarship exam, better to say. Secondly, you are saying 1.52 CR, the actual on-ground cost is extremely high. Because where the kids of extremely rich people are going, their lifestyle has to be matched by the student who are 17, 18, 19 years old. They are going to the parties, they are going to their own gatherings where even 5,000, 10,000 per person countries have to be taken by the people. And they have to match that lifestyle because you're going to a 2 CR college. You have to act like that. People are coming in BMW. You can't go there in Alto because it's 19-year-old mentality you have to understand. They're not as mature as we are. Even sometimes we also compare at this age. So it becomes even 4 to 5 CR is gone nowhere. Plus people, I see here people sell their land. You are talking about taking personal loans and all. Yes, they also take loan from the unorganized market as well at 2% per month interest. I've seen even that. And all that because once upon a time they have seen their dream to become a doctor. And it is pathetic that in 2024 also when the cutoffs went very high, we doubted this thing because we all came together. But again, no accountability. My main concern is that how can someone have this much of courage from within the system?
Yeah.
You are in a government job, you may lose everything. Your family can be humiliated, but no, because that accountability was not there at the top. That accountability cannot come at the bottom. I feel, it's a very strong statement, I know, but I feel we need to take this kind of breach, this kind of a culprit, as much accountable as we take a murderer.
Yeah.
Because a murderer will kill one person. This is killing the whole family.
It's absolutely criminal. You're absolutely right. But my question, let's not digress away from the question. You're absolutely right. What you placed on the table and some of those numbers, you're absolutely right, even with the maturity. But what's wrong with going after subsidized education? It's there for a reason. Everybody will want to go for subsidized education. So the stakes are high. The number is huge. We know our country and the demography is absolutely huge. How can we fix this problem? Or what kind of reforms would you suggest here from the top of your head?
See, the first thing that about the CBT we are discussing, the first fundamental problem that is there, that any new change you will bring, it will bring even more problems with it. That has to be dealt. We are not able to see that right now.
Yeah.
There are 22 lakh people. It cannot happen in a single shift. You have to conduct that examination in 6-7 shifts at the first place. How would you normalize the marks? How would you make sure that every single paper level is exactly the same? And you can't do that. That's the truth, because that's not happening in JEE Main as well. So even though we are running towards the reform, it will take us, same thing I said 2 years back also, it will take 2-3 years for us to adjust. We have to do hit and trial. And unfortunately, the kids are going to become the gunny pigs for some times. At least for 1 to 2 years, it will take NTA actual active effort. And if we forget this case within the next 6 months, because some other news will come, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
The first thing is we have started in the right direction. CBT is required. True. And I always say that we are happy whenever we celebrate the Independence Day or Republic Day. I always tell to my students that if this was under Britishers, you won't even get a chance to enter the medical college.
Yeah.
It is because of this country's democracy that a person from such a humble background is now the Prime Minister of the country. And you can become the next Education Minister also if you work very well.
Yeah.
But this trust is gone. For this trust to come, it is important for NTA to make sure that every single step should be transparent.
Okay.
Now, when the re-NEET is conducted,
All right.
when
all
the
right, all
re-NEET
right.
is conducted,
Mr. Pant, I'm going to come back to you. Let me bring in other players over here as well, major stakeholders. Professor Badri, this trust deficit, I mean, don't you think that's a credible aspect to look at? The trust has gone. To bridge that particular trust, and hey, even with the computer-based test, Professor, who's to say, when an insider is involved in this big and huge a breach, who's to say that the computer servers or some other kind of hacking won't happen in the future? What are some things that you now, as a professor yourself, as an academician yourself, hope from the NTA, wish for the society to follow, notwithstanding your dislike for me, if that's the case over here, Professor. But, we've got to bridge some of those loopholes now, and we need to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
No, I think, as earlier panelists said, that there will take some time to make this CBT mode of examinations to become not perfect, but proper. So there may be differences of the marks, normalization of marks, there may be complaints, there may be worries or agreement or disagreements. But after 2-3 years, he rightly said that when NTA will work hard, it will be resolved. Because see, there is no other option. 25 lakh students with OMR 6. Lot of human interventions in this entire process. How we can control it? Reaching the kind of this kind of paper leak, because the very eminent poet Craig is a poet, and he said that machine is fine, but who runs machine is the person, human, and if human is become a kind of greedy, and who will control it? So either if you put a general military commander in the NGO, even that person will can't control it. So it's a matter of also reforming ourselves, thinking ourselves, and making the system as much as perfect. And the government is working on that. Radhakrishnan Committee reports have given a lot of suggestions, and they are working on that, they are implemented.
Yeah.
And activity mode, we hope that he's rightly said, I agree with you.
There is another angle to look at here, Professor.
It's a new beginning. It's a new hope for all of us.
I don't know where that new hope is going and who's helping that new hope, Professor. There is one little angle that must be asked. NTA reportedly generated a surplus of hundreds of crores of rupees over the years. So when people are asking tonight, where exactly did that investment go? Why wasn't it used in the security infrastructure? Why did the security infrastructure fall short? And what was the delay with the implementation of the Radhakrishnan report? I mean, we need some credible answers from the NTA. Otherwise, the protests that are happening right outside the NTA office of its abolishment, they're absolutely justified, aren't they?
See, most of the implementation of the Radhakrishnan Committee reports have been implemented.
Like for example, I mean, please educate the viewers here. My bad.
You must have observed this time, the entire examination center was highly controlled. Professors from the institutions were on the duty. District administrations were on the duty. So they tried to change that space. But this space, no one had imagined that there is a Kulkarni, and no one has imagined there is an entire chain of these consultants and those who are involved in the entire business. So human, again, I'm saying this is also to change the human, not machines and the system. Is not the reply of all the questions which we are posing and which we are raising.
Okay, okay. Advocate Anubha Srivastava Sahai, many thanks for patiently waiting again, ma'am. Ma'am, the government says that the CBT, the computer-based testing, will increase security, but I mean, talk about digital inequality, digital and technical inequity, infrastructural gaps, and access issues in smaller towns. That's again going to cough up major and larger problems here. What's your assessment on that front?
See, as far as CBT is concerned, will implement, because I think for CUET, government has this year, I think they have started with this CBT exam. I'm not sure, but I think CUET is happening in CBT mode, and more than 15 lakh aspirants are appearing for the exam pan India. So that we can definitely start with that. Initially, maybe we may face some problem. We have to be prepared that we may face initially some problem due to the CBT mode. So what we can do, we can conduct a pre-test, maybe like we have pre-boards. We can have a pre-test for students before the main exam. We can conduct an exam for all the students so that they will get to know how to appear for this CBT test. And then they can appear for the main exam. Again, main exam has to be for this, especially NEET, because we are selecting our doctors. For this NEET also, there should be two modes, like NEET mains and like we have JEE. JEE mains and JEE advanced. Filtration is very important. So NEET mains and then NEET advanced. So once you will filter students from NEET mains, if there is any that will be rectified.
That's also one of the recommendations of the Radhakrishnan report, to carry it out in a staged manner. I don't know why that was, loosely, selectively lost out. But there is the fiscal angle over here as well.
During the exam, even if the security is very tight, but before the exam, if they are leaking the paper is leaked, then what is the use?
Yeah.
Paper leak we have to contain. We have to.
What about the fiscal issue, Advocate Anubha Sahai? What about the fiscal issue? So much of money that's been pumped into this. How do we curb that issue?
Yeah. So I don't know where is the money going and why there is no officials. Even 2024, we don't know what all happened with those officials who were involved, whether involved or not. We have no report. Nothing is there on social media or anywhere. Government has not shared anything with the public that what action they have taken in 2024. Now they are coming and interacting with students and media and public and parents community. But that is what students want, parents community want. We want transparency.
Yeah.
We want accountability from the authorities.
And transparency in the action that has been carried out. Professor Badri,
Yes.
how do you respond to this, sir? I mean, what does one make of this? The 2024 culprits, what has happened to that? What has happened to that investigation? Is it going somewhere? I mean, shouldn't the people know what's happening? That investigation, by the way, is also happening via the taxpayers' money.
I think this question we should ask to other panelists. I'm not made for that because I'm not.
No, but what's your opinion, sir? What's your opinion? I'm just trying to understand.
But this question you can ask to others. Maybe Anubhaji can reply because he's advocate. But this time,
I don't have any information, sir. I have no information what happened.
But this time, the way government has taken very swift actions against all these culprits, and CBI has started working from the first day, arresting the people, break the entire chain of the network of this paper leaker is very appreciable. And I think the way government take decisions very swiftly, and that should also we should appreciate. I think I can say only that this time, because they may have learned from the last experiences from the last happenings, they take decision very fast for everything, and also for announcing the examination date, making all the support system and the entire process.
Mr. Pant, what do you make of the investigation so far? Do you think it's been slow? They've been a little slow on their feet. Are you happy with the kind of investigation that has been carried out?
Sir, we know the condition of our judiciary at this point of time. They are overburdened with so many cases. If the case will be in the limelight, the hearing will be fast. The case is not in the limelight, so we all know it is going to take some time. Even the cases like POSCO takes 3 years at this point of time on practical grounds, even though it should be completed within 3 months. So obviously, as compared to that, this case is a very low priority case for the government as well as even for us. We also forgot. because we started the next session. We forgot the previous page. My one concern is that the government is highly reactive, as Professor Sir said, but they are not proactive. This could have been avoided, and still the problem is they are still not proactive. Still, they are not discussing. Like, for example, they have taken the press conference. They did not discuss that how they will make sure that...
Why put all the blame on the government? I mean, you see, with so much of desperation and lakhs of students aspiring for this NEET examination, this is clearly creating a fertile ground for the coaching mafias and, you know, the leak networks to also work. I mean, who's to deny that the coaching mafias are also not in play? They are. And you would give us a better understanding, not suggesting that you partake in those, you know, dirty deeds and activities, but you can understand the ecosystem.
Can I comment?
Yeah, sure, advocate.
See, it's not only even coaching institutes or government or other stakeholders, even parents are responsible.
Okay.
Parents are putting pressure on their children right from standard 8, right from standard 9, that yes, you have to be a doctor, you have to join IIT, you have to be an engineer. But we know, see what is the result. The parents community should also not pressurize their children that if you will not become a doctor, if you will not be an engineer, your life is finished. So we need an awareness also, overall, all the stakeholders should come forward, and even parents should tell their children that NEET and JEE or IIT should not be your dream. Okay, you must try. If you will not get into a medical college or engineering college, there are other options too. So this has to begin again.
Certainly. That's a great point. So not just the government, not just the coaching mafias, but also the parents. I'm going to let you complete your thoughts, Mr. Pant, before we wrap this up.
Yeah. So I think Professor will agree with me, sir. The role of politics at the first place, the first definition of politics, it's a very broad term, is that who should get what? That's the fundamental idea of politics. Humans, as this nature, as per the second law of thermodynamics, it will be disordered. We are supposed to be civilized. That's why the rules are there. Otherwise, if the rules are removed, the society will go into rucksack. So the role of the government, why we are talking this in the terms of democracy, why we people are discussing? The reason being very simple, that we have given the charge to someone, the accountability to someone, the power to someone. This is a big power. Today, if I go and let's say the Prime Minister or some minister is there, the convoy is there, I can't even go to the hospital at that point of time. So they have that power. We have given that power to them. So we have the right. Otherwise, whom should I ask? I can't go to some government official and ask them because they are not responsible for
You're right, a multifold problem. And I think we've cycled back to what Professor Badri said right in the beginning. It's the society's impetus at large right in the beginning for that moral character that we have to uphold as our directive principles as well. But corruption is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, not at least in a day. It's really good to see that the CBI has been able to nab the kingpin, but there are a lot of problems that still need to be plugged, even as the examination has now been shifted into CBT. Horrendous news of 2 students that have taken the extreme step, taking their own lives with this examination that has been cancelled. NEET may have moved to the computers, but trust cannot be rebooted just like the systems can. And for millions of students, the biggest question is no longer just cracking the examination, but whether those that are taking and carrying out this examination itself can be trusted or not. Professor Badri, many thanks for taking out the time. Mr. Pant, nice to have you on the show. Advocate Anubha Srivastava Sahai, who's such a great help to News9 all the time. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here. The politics over the petrol price hike that's coming right on the other side. Don't go anywhere.